WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Good morning. This is Prophetess LaWanda Ingram of God Said It, That Settles It. Welcome this morning. I have a special guest here, the Deputy Chief of Highland Park Police Department, Mr. David Wilborn.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, and I'm glad he was on a prior show, but we got him back because when you first came on, Mr. Wilborn, you was talking about your security and self-defense.
Yeah, my security company, right.
Your security company. Now it's just taking off. I had an opportunity to be in the class, everybody, and I loved it. I thought I was G.I. Jane. I mean, I had a great time. And, you know, some of the things that you all were teaching us.
Right, yeah.
You never know, you know, how we kind of react to certain situations, but you can't act that way because if you do, you find yourself in jail.
Correct.
And you all taught us so much. So talk a little bit about that because I know we're going to talk about Will Smith. I didn't want to talk about it on Easter,
Okay.
but I wanted to talk about the legalities because a lot of people said, okay, it was assault. A lot of people said that he was just defending his wife.
Right.
But I just want to know the legalities so people don't think they can walk around just slapping people.
Right.
Okay? So let's talk about your dream come true.
Yeah, so in all actuality, my company is called DNL Security and Personal Protection. I started out actually probably about 19 years ago, and I just only started doing CPL training. That was it. And so I got my license to do that, my certificate, you know, to do the CPL training. One thing led to another. I started doing security. And so when I started doing the training, it's a lot of people that does this type of work. So smaller companies sometimes take a long time to kind of take off. So, but I stayed consistent. I will say ever since I started, I've started doing classes like once a month. You know, so sometimes it varies. Sometimes you get a classroom where it's 25, 30 people. You're like, oh, wow, I'm about to make all this money. And then your next class is like 5 people. But I never stopped. I kept going. I pushed and pushed and pushed. There were days where I had 2 people in my class, but I gave it to them like it was 200. You know, I didn't.
Put you all in all
yeah,
in.
I didn't take back on the training just because it was 1 or 2 people. I made them work. I gave it to them just like it was, you know, 25, 30 people in the classroom. So with that being said, I continued, didn't stop. Kept getting more educated about what I was doing, kept getting more certificates, more things under my belt, even though I've been in security law enforcement for about 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And but I just kept doing them, just kind of building my brand, building my name, getting everything out there. And just, you know, this past year after COVID hit, I tell you, I was give a shout out to my pastor, Bishop Charles Williams. He allowed me to do all of my training.
Woo woo.
All of my training in the church, at the church.
Okay.
Didn't charge me a dime. Sometimes he actually came in and helped, you know.
Right.
Because he's a NRA instructor also.
Oh, is he?
So he's prior military. He's actually one of the commanders.
Prior military.
Right.
Prior military.
He's actually one of the commanders for the chaplain corps here in the city of Highland Park.
Oh, okay.
So him and at the time my God bless my Bishop Gene Williams, who passed away, which is his wife.
Oh, okay.
They allowed me to come in and just do my thing in the church, in the fellowship hall.
Okay.
You know, I did that for at least maybe 5-6 years. Every month on Saturdays, you know, basic self-defense classes, CPL classes, and never charged me a dime, never mentioned money to me. And sometimes they saw what I was bringing in. They saw what I wasn't bringing in.
Right.
But they never mentioned money, and I continue. So shout out to them at First New Life.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
Yeah.
First New Life. Shout
And,
out. But fret not, small beginnings.
That's right.
'Cause
That's
look,
right.
Your class was full when I was in there. You
So,
got a staff and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the Lord blessed. I mean, He blessed tremendously. One of my longest friends, Lawrence Port, he's my barber also. He moved from one facility to a different one. Oh, wow. So I went to get my haircut. That's all I was going to do. I was going to get my haircut. And he said, and I saw it, I said, man, this is really nice, man. This is sweet. He said, let me show you something. So I went down the hall, and when I walked into this suite in this office building in Southfield, and I looked around, I said, I could use this. I said, I could do what I need to do right in here. And long story short, I ended up with my own facility.
Look at God.
Right.
Let's give God a hand.
I went down, I spoke to the guy, and I was so concerned. I was worried. I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, hey, I'm scared. I'm nervous, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know you're going to get it. I didn't have to go through a credit check or a background check or anything. He looked at my credentials. He was like, yeah, we good. And
God just blessed you and your wife.
Wrote the check. Yeah, I wrote the check,
so
and
awesome.
Boom, that was the end of it.
Hey, but I know that it's an awesome class. And just talk a little bit about what, your class offers as far as what all you teach with the CPO and the combat. And the self-defense, right? Because you kind of teach them together, or sometimes.
So what it was. So here's what happened. At first, in the beginning, I was doing a basic self-defense class and a CPL class at the same time. I would try to split it, but that would run over, and it would be so long. By the time we would get to the gun range, myself and my staff would be wore out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I decided, and then with so many things changing and price changes and things like that. So I had to kind of change it and kind of flip it a little bit.
Right.
So when I made the decision to just make them separate, so I just do the CPL class, and then I do I may give a little bit of basic self-defense to kind of show them what they need.
Like how you showed us,
exactly.
Which was pretty good.
So
kind of
get people excited about taking the basic self-defense class. So to be honest with you, I had not done a basic self-defense class in probably about 4 years, because people didn't want to take it because they thought once they got their CPL or they got their gun, they were good. And I would set the class up and nobody would come. So now all of a sudden, out of the blue, people are coming wanting to see one of the basic self-defense along with the CPL class. So they're separated now. So looks like I'm doing now like 2 classes a month. I'm doing the CPL class, and then right behind that, the following week, I'm doing the basic self-defense class.
And what I like about when you showed us some of the moves and everything, your self-defense is basically, I was liking that it was showing you how to defend yourself, and you don't really necessarily have to hurt no one.
Exactly.
You just,
Right. Yeah, so every situation that you get into is not a pull your gun, shoot somebody situation.
Absolutely.
It's not even an always pull my gun and scare you situation, because I always train, don't pull it unless you're about to use it.
Yeah, 'cause some people pull it and then get shot by somebody else, and they don't even have bullets in it.
Or sometimes you pull it thinking you needed to defend yourself, and you're the one end up going to jail, because once you pull your gun, it changes the game.
Yeah.
And just like I taught you all in class, don't pull it unless it's time to use it. It's not for show. It's not for scaring people.
Right.
It's for using it and defending yourself. So we teach that along with your CPL, along with what you need to learn some type of basic self-defense. It's not martial arts.
Right.
Would not teach you how to be a ninja.
Right.
I'm not handing out black belts. I'm not doing any of that. It's just basic things that you do on a daily basis that you probably don't realize you do it, because you do it so regularly, subconsciously, you just do certain things.
Yeah,
If you're walking someplace where it's crowded,
Absolutely.
And you don't want to bump somebody, or if you got a cup of coffee or you got your pop, and you, let's say you at the amusement park or something, and it's a lot of people going north and south, east and west.
They're just all over the
Right.
place.
So when you walk in, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna do something. Oh, I don't want to up, so you just turn, just to pivot. Just certain things that people do that you do regularly. We teach them how to use those things in self-defense, basic self-defense, to get out of certain situations where you're not always feeling like you have to pull your weapon.
Right, because like the one scenario when you gave about like if you jogging,
Mm-hmm.
and then some you see a suspicious person,
Exactly.
and it seems like they keep getting closer and closer.
Right.
And a lot of times, just in normal day, like you say, day-to-day operations, you that does happen. That
It
a
does,
person
it
will
does.
get closer, but they're not really
A threat.
a threat to you.
Right.
But they appear to be a threat because a lot of us are in a fear type
Atmosphere
spirit
situation.
and atmosphere
Exactly.
because there's so much going on.
Yes.
So
tons of
and
stuff.
tons of stuff going on. So I'm so glad that you came, and your dream is just being blessed over and over and over again.
Yes.
Give out your information because I wanted to talk about Will Smith because some people thought it was, it's just so many opinions going on with that. But I want to talk more about the legalities aspect of that because it's still assault. Assault is assault.
Correct.
And then what makes something become an assault? And opposed to, he was defending his wife.
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
so
Exactly. So you can reach me at on my website, which is dlsecurity.org. My email is davidwilborn@dlsecurity.org. Very simple. My name and my company.org. Phone number 248-506-8294. I'm on Facebook as DL Security Personal Protection. I'm on Instagram as SWAT BFI. I'm on Twitter as SWAT BFI. I'm on TikTok.
look at you. I'm laughing because
I'm on TikTok as DL Security.
I'm laughing because I have yet to get on TikTok.
Listen,
I
you
cannot
gotta
figure
listen.
it
You
out.
gotta
I
do
cannot
it.
figure it
You
out.
gotta do it,
I
man.
think I'm
It's
still
hilarious.
in the old age or
Listen,
something.
you gotta get on TikTok because so listen. So
What is TikTok all about?
it's okay. One, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's foolishness,
Oh, is it?
but it's fun foolishness.
Okay.
So actually, Bishop Lloyd, he told
a
me,
friend of mine.
right,
Yeah.
Bishop Lloyd. He said, man, he said, man of God, you got to get on TikTok, man. You got to put your stuff on TikTok. It's a different demographic. And I said, man, I want to start on TikTok,
My grandkids downloaded that thing. I
So
still
I'm
don't
on
have
it, and I've actually gotten a lot of hits.
Really?
With the one thing I like about it is one thing I hate about Facebook, but I like about TikTok. I hate Facebook because people could put an hour and a half long video, and I'm like, get to the point.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But TikTok is only a minute.
Oh,
You know what
so
I'm
it's
saying?
only like is
Yeah.
it like a video?
Right, it's
or-
like clips or whatever video. You can
Okay.
and you can but it's only a minute, so you're not on there just looking like when you get to the point, please. So when you watch the TikTok video, they got to hurry up and get to the point, which is what I like. Just get to the point.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try because I'm telling you, I was like TikTok. I'm kind of like, that's almost like, okay, I'm in a little fear about it because I don't want to mess it up, And my grandkids are like, Granny, you gotta get on TikTok. And then I
right.
see them, they'll be putting up the iPad, right? And they'd be like, Granny, just stand right here, and I stand there. And they, the grandkids doing all
Yeah,
that
right.
type of
All
stuff.
the
I'm just standing there
challenges.
looking
Right.
crazy. And then next thing I know, they like, look at you. And it be on TikTok, and it's something they do to make you. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get
Right.
to it. But if you on TikTok,
I'm
man,
on
God,
it. I'm on it.
I'm getting on TikTok.
If-
Y'all
hey.
done heard it here. God said it. God said it. Prophet Ingram is getting on TikTok.
If you were any entertainment like we are, we both got our own shows. You got to get on.
Gotta
TikTok.
get
You
on
gotta-
there.
You got to
And
get on it.
And you do have a show, so talk
I
a
do.
little bit about that as well. And when it comes on, because I know it's 4:30. I'll be trying.
Right.
And I get on and get off, or I get on and I'm in Bible study or something. Go ahead
I
and
got
talk
you.
about it.
Yeah, so myself and my partner, evangelist Felicia Shaw, we have a podcast called The Drop Zone. It's on simplypodcasting.com. It comes on every Wednesday at 4:30, from 4:30 to 5:30. It's myself, my partner, Ms. Shaw. We have an in-house comedian named Malachi Lee. And our platform is to aid and help women, children, and men of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Okay.
So that's the platform for our podcast. So we're also a syndicated podcast. We are in Kentucky, we are in Cincinnati, we are in Phoenix, Arizona, WCVG 103.9 FM. We are also getting ready to sign a deal with RTN, Raymond Television Network. That's 3.5 million homes.
Okay.
So we're kind of doing it. We're trying to get the message out there.
Oh, that's pretty good, because that is something that a lot of young people I see today go through a lot of domestic, although they're not married.
Exactly.
They
exactly.
acting like they're married, and they go through
Right.
a lot of violence, or how would you like the relationship is very violent.
Exactly.
I've seen that a lot in a lot of teenagers, and it's just sad, because I'm like, you haven't even lived life yet, and you experiencing
and
violence.
they think that if you watch some of the things on social media, they think that being in a toxic relationship is sexy.
And that is crazy.
So
Is that not crazy?
It is the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
They actually make little clips and videos of being toxic and like, this is how we are, but I love him or he love. I'm like, being toxic.
It's a mental issue going
Yeah,
on right there.
that's not the way it should be. You're not supposed to enjoy getting verbally abused or physically or mentally.
none of that.
You don't supposed to enjoy that. That's toxic. You don't need that in your life. But they move along from relationship to relationship, thinking that this is the way of the world. This is how it's going to be. This is what it is. This is how it has to be. And that's not true at all.
Okay, so yeah, people tune into that, especially young people that think toxic is the way to go, because it is not. Something is mentally going on. So let's talk a little bit about the legalities of the slap, the Oscar slap.
Okay.
And I when I did do my one show, a lot of people, I did put something on Facebook. I did.
Yeah, you did. You was chiming out. You was actually chiming in on the drop zone when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, I was like, honestly, now, I would love for my husband to, defend my honor with dignity, respect, and but not with assault or embarrassment or insult. And I just think that it was a different way that it could have been handled. And a lot of people say, well, Mr. Smith was getting a lot of he's been getting a lot of flack from people, but if you put your business out there, you gonna expect that. Sometimes you don't even have to put your business out there.
True.
Just let it hit social media. It can hit social media one day, and in a couple of hours you'll be
It's on.
the talk
Right.
of the town.
That's
so,
right.
I kind of like, he could have defended her a different way, and I kind of like the way that Mr. Chris Rock handled it, but at the same token, legally, that was assault.
Oh, definitely.
Or talk the legalities about that for a moment.
So in essence, I would never put a man down for defending his family.
Right, because
Never.
of course, you got a wife. Of course, you don't want nobody,
Exactly.
Disrespecting your wife.
So, but I will say there's a time to lay hands,
Okay,
and there's a time not to.
Absolutely.
So just like we teach, everything is not a gun situation. Everything is not a let me go hit somebody situation. You can still defend and not necessarily have to lay. Chris Rock wasn't a threat.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's why, because he wasn't
Chris Rock
a threat,
wasn't
right?
a threat. He made a joke, which I laughed at.
I
the
did
joke.
too.
I laughed at the same time Will Smith laughed. We laughed at the same time.
Right.
So,
It was funny.
So,
but I didn't look at it as a bad joke. I looked at it as a compliment to me.
It was quite funny.
You know,
So in all actuality, when Demi Moore shaved her head for that movie, people don't remember, they actually was giving her a bunch of great comments because she rocked the bald head well.
right, and she had an entanglement
Exactly.
in the movie. So
Right.
we don't know what he was making. the joke about.
So that joke could have went 5-6 different ways.
Absolutely.
He could have been trying to maybe get some producers to think maybe we could put her in the G.I. Jane too.
Because she already got her hair shaved.
She's already got her hair shaved.
Right.
So and she hasn't been in the movie in years, so
Right.
why
So
not
he's
take a
like-
shot
I
on
think he was
Jada?
Right, he was trying to like put her on the
Yeah,
platform.
or he could have just been being Chris Rock, being funny. It was the Oscars. Everybody was laughing.
And
Everybody
he
was
got
joking.
paid to be funny.
He gets paid to be funny.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when the slap actually came legally, yeah, it was definitely wrong.
And
It was definitely wrong.
It changed it to be more like
it changed the entire situation because that's the Oscars, and you don't do certain things at the Oscars.
yes, that's prestige all great.
And I tell people all the time, if we remember right at the height of COVID when the Oscars had come out, a lot of the black actors and actresses kind of took a strike against the Oscars because of how
Not enough diversity. And
exactly,
all that.
and how they were choosing and not getting black people getting Oscars and things like that. So they kind of did a boycott, if you will.
I remember.
So now I believe this is the first one since COVID that it was wide open. Everybody was back in house. It was like the Oscars again.
And the team
so
was
they
all
had,
black.
Right. So they had Will Packer producing. They had, I forgot the other young lady. I'm sorry. She was directing it. It was a lot going on, and it was all black people. And it was like, okay, so now they finally let us in.
Yeah, they let us in.
And this is what we do.
But we going to assault somebody.
So when it came down and he got the 10 years, he can't be, he can't come back to another Oscars. And everybody went to trip. A lot of the same people that I was saying he was wrong was like, oh, that's too much, 10 years. So here it is in essence. He still can receive an Oscar. He still can be nominated.
Right.
Okay. He just can't go to another Oscar ceremony.
For 10 years.
That's fine, because in all actuality, if you look at it, the average great black actor or black actor of his caliber only gets 1, maybe 2 Oscars their lifetime.
Right.
Denzel only has 2.
Right.
Halle Berry
Absolutely.
only has 1.
Absolutely.
You can name off every elite black actor that you want. They have one,
one
maybe 2
or
Oscars.
2 Oscars.
That's it. It's not like like Meryl Streep with what, 10. I mean, it's not like that at all. So technically, he'll probably never get another Oscar again. Because if you look at it in essence, he's great. I love it.
He's a great
actor. And I'm still a
actor.
Will Smith fan.
Me too.
But he's not as great as Denzel.
No.
So Denzel only has 1. Right. So that lets you know Will Smith will probably never get another Oscar. So
but like they say, he can be nominated and all that.
Yeah, he can be nominated. He can receive another one if he gets another movie that puts him on in that bracket. Right. But he just can't go back for 10 years.
And a lot of people that was feeling it was unfair or whatnot, just think if it wasn't the Oscar and he went and assaulted a man on the streets or in the bar or whatever, he would get probably
would have been in jail.
And some time and some jail time.
If that had been an average citizen that may have said something sideways to Jada, and he went and smacked him, which I don't think he would have, but if he went and smacked him, like, the average person would have been like, oh, Will Smith just hit me?
Well, a millionaire?
Like, oh yeah, they're done. Like, he's about to take everything he has.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'm glad that you shed some light on that because, like you said, a lot of people not even thinking he might not even get another one. So them telling him he can't come back in 10 years, he might not get another Oscar in 10 years.
It'll probably, if he was to get a movie that will put him in that elite status, it'll probably be another 10 years before if he's still acting.
Absolutely.
What is Will Smith now? What, 50-something years old?
Yeah, he's about 52.
Yeah, so another 10 years, he'll be 60. He may not be acting at 62. I'm just saying.
Right.
But so we talking 10 years. That's about right. Yeah, people got to stop. As I always tell people, we got to stop looking at what we hear and look at what it is for what it really is.
The actuality
the actual
of it, right.
Of what's going on. So you look at 10 years, Will Smith is in his 50s. You looking at by the time
in his 60s.
He may not even be acting. He may not even be acting by around that time frame. So it's about right. That's about right.
Yeah, so I think it was all done well as far as, and like Mr. Chris Rock, that a lot of people are saying, well, he handled it well, but I believe he realized, hey, this is the Oscars.
Right, exactly.
And I can't be acting like this up in here. And I truly believe genuinely that Mr. Chris Rock realized something. both of them are millionaires.
Multi.
And I don't think he did it for any selfish reason, how he reacted. I think that's just Chris Rock and how he reacts. Like, no, I don't think I'm going to act like that here because he didn't press charges. He didn't want to do none of that.
Right, he didn't. Well, Chris Rock is not a fighter type of guy.
Right, absolutely.
And he says all this, not like I know
His brothers
Chris,
them used to pick on him all the
right,
time.
not like I know Chris Rock personally and anything like that. But take a look at his stand. Now I'm a Chris Rock fan. I love Chris Rock.
Me
He's
too.
one of my favorite
I'm both their
comedians.
fans. So.
Yeah. So listen to his stand-ups. Usually when the comedian gets up and talk, they're usually giving you their life.
Mm-hmm.
His show. Everybody Hates Chris. He was picked on a lot as a kid.
Right.
So he never grew up. Now his brothers are different.
Oh yeah, they straight from the hood.
But Chris never grew up a fighter. Like
Right.
So for Chris Rock to not react rather back, that was Chris Rock's. That's his
him.
that's his demeanor. But if that had to be any other comedian, I don't think it would.
No, I think they would have had to cut the commercial.
Yeah,
the
Oscars
Oscars probably would have been over and all
Right.
that. But I'm glad you shed light on the legalities of it because a lot of people have to understand assault is assault,
Oh yeah,
whether it's at the Oscars or whether it's at Coney Island.
exactly.
It's an assault, and then people need to know that once you hit a person, you change the whole situation.
Once you put your hands on somebody, you can say what you want,
Absolutely.
but
Free
once you
country.
put your hands on somebody, the whole situation has changed.
And that's some of the things you teach in your
Exactly.
in your
Exactly.
self-defense that a situation can easily go from
Bad to worse.
bad to worse
In seconds.
In seconds. That's how you and some of the scenarios you gave us, it's just in seconds. And people don't even have time to think that quick.
Yep.
So I'm glad you came on. I want you to give your information again and let everybody know. And thank you so much for coming on
My
and
pleasure.
sharing the legality aspect of it. Will Smith and Mr. Rock, we still y'all fans.
Oh yeah, I'm still fans.
We
I'm
still
still
y'all
fans.
fans. All right.
So if you want to learn how to not get smacked by Will Smith on the street, just make sure you contact me at dlsecurity.org. I have upcoming CPL classes and also Basics of Defense classes for the month of May. dlsecurity.org. Phone number is 248-506-8294. You can hit me on all social media platforms, either SWAT BFI or dlsecurity.org. Of me doing demonstrations. I do post those to TikTok.
All
It's
right. We
fun.
shout out to his wife. She's in the studio as well. We're so glad that Mrs. Wilborn came. And I wanted to let people know that it's called Fake Friends TV series. Yes, I went and did something else. I went and did an audition and actually made the cut. So it's called Fake Friends. It's coming back by overwhelming popular demand. It will be on Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, HBO, Tubu, all those stations, and it's called Fake Friends. And Mr. Tyler Perry is partnered with Murray Productions and Pop Productions, and it's coming back August 5th, 2022. And yes, I have made it to the TV series. I'm not going to give you all of it, but I'm a mother who comes home and finds her son in the driveway shot and killed. So I got to get into my acting face. I got to distraught and all that, mad, angry, all that. So maybe TikTok will help me get where I need to go. But I'm definitely going to try TikTok. I want to thank you, sir, for coming. So I want to bring you back and maybe have you and Ms. Shaw come and talk about, and do a little bit more about what your
The drop zone?
The drop zone.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
And bring the other gentleman too, and we can just have fun. You say he's a comedian?
Yes. Oh my God, he is hilarious.
Tell him I'm not slapping comedians.
Okay, right.
Yeah, God said it, that settles
Yes,
it. But yeah, have him come on, and maybe we could just, do a small drop zone here as
Sure,
well.
that'd be great.
Do
That'd
a
be
small
great.
drop zone, because I know, give that time again for your drop zone.
Right. Every Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30. You can catch us on simplypodcastic.com, and you catch us on Facebook. The
Okay.
Drop Zone It's called the Drop Zone Facebook page.
All right, well, thank you, sir, so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. See you next time on God Said It, That Settles It. Be blessed.